Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Elke. Nice to meet you for this.
Hello, Thomas.
We meet us to talk about systemic patterns or systemic relations. And
hmm
I think we make it practically, yeah, to talk about this systemic thinkings, um, to use it in our practical work. I think this
Yes,
is the most interesting point for our visitors or our, how do you say,
students,
Zuschauer?
students, students.
Students also?
Oh.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Do you have some questions for me?
yeah, I mean, this systemic work is kind of very complex,
Yeah.
right? And maybe some people they have heard about the family constellation, but this is not all there is to constellation work or to thinking in constellations.
Mhm.
So, because we all belong to systems, right? And therefore, um, through that, we definitely also as a cancer patient, as a relative of a cancer patient, we belong to a system. And if something changes with one, it affects the whole system.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so perhaps we start with some patterns where they are the base of the systemic thinking. Yeah. And the first real important thing is we are no island. We are always connected with other peoples and surroundings and systems. Yeah. And it's not only the family system, it's also the work system, the neighborhood. Yeah. If you go to a choir, yes, and you sing with other people, you are in a system, yeah, and so every time we are connected with other peoples and with systems,
Mhm.
and these systems has an impact on you, and you also have an impact on the system, yeah. And so it's dependency,
Dependences,
dependency,
tendencies.
yeah, like this. And so we are not alone. And if you have someone, a patient, in front of you in your praxis, and he is not or she is not sitting alone there on the chair. There is,
Even if there is nobody with them, but they
yeah,
bring inside of them, they bring the whole system with them.
that's the point. Yeah, and so you're not sitting there only with one person. There are also the wife or the husband, the children here, and father and mother, because every time, if you ask your patient something, they have at the same time the answers of father, of mother, of husband, of woman and the children inside, and they must bring it all away to say, my only opinion is blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But you never can be really objective. Yeah.
You mean you as the patient, or
Yeah. As a patient, yeah, you answer all questions in a systemic way. Sometimes patients say words like their mother, yeah, because we say it's an intro check. That means that they have heard in a childhood their mother say some words, yeah, and they take it serious inside, and uh, then a few years later, they say the same words like the mother, like the father, yeah, and you can't um, divide it if it's the opinion of the patient or if you speak at the moment with the mother or the father, yeah.
even if, like me, I'm the black sheep of the family, yeah?
Yeah, then perhaps sometimes it's good, because if you avoid such impacts or imprints or intro checks, yeah, then you are more free, yeah, and you are not so occupied by the opinions of other people, yeah, in your system. So practically, it's really necessary to say, if you ask your patient, hey, now you're ill, what means your illness for your partner? And then perhaps you have another seat in your praxis and a chair, and you take this empty chair and say, please go now on this empty chair and go in the role of your husband, of your mother, of your wife, yeah, or children, who else, yeah. And then if you change the chair, you change also the role, and you sit on this new chair, and then you speak in the role of this other person. And me, as a practitioner or a coach, I ask, oh, hello, Mrs. Bach, nice that you are here also in my practice now at the moment, yeah. And what is your opinion about this illness of your husband or your son or someone else? Yeah. And then the patient speaks in the role of this person. And so we invite the intro check that what the patient carries the whole time, and we invite this people into the session. Yeah.
So this
And
will
it's
give also
really,
the patient an insight. Actually, I think it is like as they speak, they realize it that that they have taken on something that does not belong to them, right?
yes, absolutely. And it's really fascinating how the body change, how the voice is changing, and then the behavior is changing when they are in the role of this other person. Yeah. And this is one kind of systemic work that we invite other people of the family system, perhaps, into our session. And
So
it's really,
would you ask like who is very important to them and then ask for these people to speak, yeah?
or who is affected also by your illness, who is, suffering also by your illness, and perhaps is not talking about, but you feel, oh, they hold back feelings, anger sometimes, perhaps because they want to save you, and take care of you, but you feel as a patient, that your wife, your husband, or someone else, is also affected by this illness, and then we give this person, this system partner, we give room and a time to speak, even she is not here or this person is not here. But inside of the patient, it is every time there.
Yeah.
And this is one practical possibility to work with systemic thinking. And then the other thing is, in systemic thinking, we always speak about context. Each behavior arises in special contexts. Example, I'm crying because I thought about, will I die, or I'm angry, or I'm anxious about the next chemotherapy. I don't like it, and I'm crying about my destiny. So I'm sitting in my corner in my room and I'm crying alone. So then my wife is coming in the context is totally changing because someone else is coming in and sees that I am crying. And then it's really fascinating that my crying perhaps stops, or my tears come more out. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm louder and louder. Well, it was.
Yeah, we see this also when children fall,
Yeah,
right? Always they look first if somebody sees it, and if somebody sees it, then they start crying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So behavior depends every time on the context. Yeah. And so when a person is speaking about problems, it's really, really necessary to ask about the context, in which situation this behavior is a problem, or in which situation it will not be a problem. Yeah. And you see, when a patient is in a group of other patients, and other patients say really awful things about their suffering and like this, and me, I just have a little pain. Yeah, it's not really dangerous, or I don't know what. And I see the other peoples are suffering much more than me. Then my little pain is shrinking. But when I'm at home, no one is suffering around me. Everybody's happy, you know. But my little pain is increasing. Yeah. Because me, I have to show how I'm suffering this illness.
So how can we use this knowledge about the context in our work with patients?
Yeah, we ask about the context. What is your problem at the moment? And in which context it is a problem? And perhaps in which context it will not be such a big problem. And perhaps you can change contexts. Or you see, when you see the difference between the contexts and your behavior in the different contexts, you see, aha, everything is relative. Everything depends on the context. And so is it really needed that in this context you make it big, or in this context you make it low? And so it helps the patient to understand, aha, my illness has in different contexts different meanings. And then it's not, yeah, it will vanishing a little bit, yeah, and changing a little bit in the thinking of the people, yeah. And we say we make constructs in our brain. And our work as a counselor, as a coach, is to melt these constructs a little bit, or to
make it that they are aware it's a construct.
yeah,
That they have the power to construct something different.
that's the point. Yeah. And which effect has my construct on my body, on my thinking, on my feelings? And when I change my constructs, what is perhaps a positive or a more negative effect? And that's really necessary to observe. Is if you have a special goal, and every patient has this goal, I want to be healthy or more healthier than now. So, and then as a coach, we have to ask, are your constructs, your constructions in your head, are they helpful for your goal, for your purpose? Or are they perhaps an
Offending
opposite,
or
an opposite of healthy.
opposing.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a really interesting question. Yeah. What are your construction in your brain? What have they an impact or an effect on yourself? Yeah. Little example. When I say, "Oh, I will die in a few years," stop. Thank you for this sentence, but let's prove what an effect is this thought having on your body.
Mhm.
Oh, I feel sad, and when I think about dying, okay, is it senseful to bring this thought every day in your brain up? Is it senseful for a healing process?
Mm.
I think. And the patient, no, that's not senseful. That's not helpful for me. Okay, good. Then why not to stop this thought? Because everything what you think about tomorrow is a fantasy. It's not real. You can't think about tomorrow and say to yourself, that will happen. No, you don't know if it will happen.
Yes.
There's no proof. And when it will happen in 2 or 3 years, you have no proof for that.
Yeah.
And so it's only a fantasy.
Mm.
And I asked many patients, I asked, are you a realist or are you a fantasy or how do you say, a fantast? Fantast?
Yeah, well, I think we know what you mean.
You know what you mean? Yeah. And many people say, "Oh no, I'm a realist. Yeah, I believe all the doctors, and I'm a realist." Okay, well,
Illusion, maybe illusionist.
illusionist is the opposite of a realist. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And so when they say, "I am a realist," I'm a realist. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I ask, what is real? It's a big question. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they say the prognosis I got a half year before, and I ask, is this real? No, no, no. I'm just living. I'm living. Okay. And when the doctor says you have to die in 2 years, is this real at the moment? No, no. It's just saying. It's just a prognosis. Okay. And if you are a realist, what is real? And most patients can't give me an answer.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, you are sitting here in front of me. Is it real? Oh, yes, this is real. Ah, wonderful. So the moment you're living in the moment, this is reality.
Mhm. Can I ask you,
And yeah,
I had also a thought, you know, because from our experience, we know that there can be also an advantage, like having cancer for them, even though it's hidden. Would this also fall into the context realm or the systemic realm?
yeah. If you say I have cancer, and so I always ask, how do you know? Oh, I got a diagnosis 2 months ago. And now? What's now? What do you mean? Yeah, what's now? Do you have cancer now? Um, I don't know. That's right. We don't know because you are at the moment here. You feel fine. Yeah, you have no pain at the moment. And who, why, and how do you know that you have cancer? Okay, but I want to bring this example to the end. And when I ask the realist, yeah, when you know the moment now, this is reality. Every thought about tomorrow, it's fantasy. And so when you are a realist, stop with fantasies about tomorrow. And if you want to make fantasies about tomorrow, then please decide, is this fantasy positive for my health, or will it shrink
Yeah.
or sink my health,
Mm.
or bring my health state down? And then please decide, if you make fantasy of tomorrow, then please think positive. Or better is stop. Stop thinking about tomorrow. So, and this is systemic thinking, because systemic patterns means you are the constructor of your reality. And every day when you say something about yourself and about your future, you construct this future. You build this future. And so please observe your thoughts if it is a future thinking that you really want.
So that was one thing, because I was thinking of a couple that I know, and she got cancer, and so she had a very good looking husband that was always somewhere pleasing other people. And so then I asked her, if she needs something, if I can help her doing this or that. I said, no, he is doing this now, So therefore, I could see that it had an advantage to have that serious illness, because then he stayed put and he did all this, what he did not do before she got sick. So therefore, I'm wondering, is this also a part of this context systems?
Yeah. So you see, we ask sometimes, we have special systemic questions, and we ask sometimes, is there a person who could hold you in the illness? Yeah. Or who wants to avoid that you will get healthy, because the role was changing, and this new role is putting the ego bigger, and now I'm the caretaker of my wife. And so it's not common that my wife gets healthy so quick, because this new role is it pimps up myself. Yeah. And so
or she's not getting better, because then he will stop paying attention as much.
yeah, that's the point. Yeah, and he will change again, and perhaps for her it's good that he takes care at the moment. Yeah, and she gets more attention, and perhaps she's served. Yeah, he's cooking. Yeah, he makes the household like this, and so perhaps it's better to take time for getting healthier. Yeah? And this is a good moment to take the empty chair and to sit to invite the not real here being husband on this chair, and she's going to this chair and she's playing the husband, and we talk to this imaginated husband. Yeah. And then she also feels really on this new situation, on this new chair, oh, there are a lot of issues also in the husband, and this is has effect on the illness, on the healing process.
Yeah.
This is systemic thinking. We are not alone in this illness. We are in a spider net of wishes, of hopes, of um, basic values in the family. Yeah, perhaps, or for example, never talk to other people about our problems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is a real big impact. So patients, if you ask, is there a problem in the relationship? And no, everything's fine. And you really feel, oh, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so invite the children and ask the children, how do you see Papi and Mommy taking or are related together? And the children say, yeah, sometimes they are quarreling, sometimes they are angry, and sometimes the doors are, oh, okay.
So do you mean to ask the real children or the children on the chair?
You can invite everything what you make in imagination, you can in reality, you can do in reality, yeah. But it's not necessary, yeah, because on the chair of the child, it will be more difficult to lie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Or you invite the family in nature, in life, in presence, and you ask them. Yeah, and you talk to them. For me, it's a good idea because everybody in the family is suffering from this illness. Yeah, and it has an impact on it, and so it's a real good idea to invite all these people and to speak with them alone, yeah, together, but also in a private space. Yeah, with children, I often make this exercise that I ask them, if you are in the jungle and everybody in your family is an animal, and who are you at first? I am the monkey. Yeah, I'm jumping from the trees. Okay. And who is your brother? Oh, he is the skunk, the stick here. How do you say? The bad smelling animal. Okay, and your mother, oh, she is an elephant. And your father, yeah, he is a lion. Okay, and then, okay, here's paper, and then if you want, you can paint all these animals, how near they are together, or how far away they are, yeah, and where they are in the jungle. Are they in the family near together, or is everybody making its own plan? Yeah, and so the family system will build it up on the paper, and it's really interesting to see this, what the kids are painting.
Yeah.
Or I have animals in figures, and ask them, which figure do you want to choose for Papi, Mommy, yourself, Oma, grandma, grandpa, and then bring it on the table, how near they are. Yeah, sometimes animals stand on other animals, yeah, by them really, yeah. And I ask, okay, what means it for you? What shows it for you? I don't interpret it, but I ask the person who is building up this constellation. And this is systemic work in the praxis. And then I ask, what do you want? Is it good that you have to carry your brother on your back? No, it's so heavy. Yeah, okay, where do you want to have him? More on the right side, more on the left side, more in front, or far away. Yeah, and so we ask for the wishes. Who do you want to take more in your to you, yeah, and who do you want to throw more away?
Yeah.
This is a real interesting work, and it helps a lot to get information about the family system and about the spider net I described.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is very, very helpful. Yeah, to look into these systemic patterns and
And
contexts.
let's perhaps we have a little time perhaps. Say there are sometimes order in a family system, or not order. It's was heißt denn Auftrag?
Yeah, it's an order. It's also an order.
It's order. It's an order that we are in a right.
Or like in ordering something, I order
Yes,
something,
and
so this is also.
these orders are coming from the past sometimes. See, if you are in a family where cancer is seen very often, perhaps the mother had a cancer, the grandfather had a cancer, or an aunt had a cancer, and so if you are free of cancer, sometimes people feel ashamed. And then when they get also cancer, then they relax. Oh no, I'm really in the family because now I share the same destiny. And sometimes they are ashamed about their healthiness, about their happiness, about a good function family, yeah. And but the parents and the grandparents, they were suffering and illnesses and so, and the parents said, yeah, you can't understand what destiny we have to carry. You're healthy. And that makes a little kind of guilt. And then when they get cancer too, everything's fine. Yeah. And this is also to look at. We make a genogram. We work with a patient, and we bring on a genogram, we bring the whole system on a paper, like a Stammbaum. I don't know the English word. How do you say Stammbaum?
Family tree?
What?
Family tree.
A family tree, yeah, easy word. A family tree, yeah. But there are much more information on this family tree. We see when they married, the parents married. We see when the children were coming, yeah, and
Divorced, new families.
yeah, and the illnesses we write inside of this genogram, yeah, and also dramatic things in the family about war, or if they have to leave the home, yeah, after a war, or yeah, and so all this destiny you can see on this paper, and it has a strong impact on the person then, when they see, wow, this all works in my system. I don't have to carry it like a backpack with me. Yeah. And so the really necessary holding or position inside is that I bow myself and I respect the destiny of the other older people in my system. And this respect is really needed, so I will not get guilty about this destiny the other had. But when I bow my back and I say, oh, I respect it really, and I let it with you. You carry it, and thank you. So I am free.
Yeah.
And this is really helpful in systems that we respect the destiny of father, mother, grandpa, grandma, and all the other people in the system. Yeah, and that makes free, and cancer can go away.
Yeah. I remember that, like many years ago, I read a book about people that have split personalities, and that one person that they took over had diabetes, and the other one didn't, because we always think it is
Multi-personal symptom, yeah.
yeah, it is something that is your body is sick, but it is actually not. So this proved it actually that, it has always something to do with our mind. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really good to bring peace into the mind, and forgiveness, and respect. Respect is a really worthwhile word in the systemic thinking. Yeah. And yeah, what you say is this multi-personal syndrome. Yeah, in 1 second they can't eat cake and sugar. Yeah, and if another person takes over, yeah, then no diabetes reaction is there.
Yeah, or allergies or something, I found that
Allergies, yeah,
so fascinating.
and
Yeah.
also pain. Yeah, one part has a real big pain in the leg part, and the other part doesn't feel it. And so it's how you say, it's a big proof for this mind over matter thing. Yeah. And so perhaps a last hint, if someone is in the family and it's not speaking about him,
Okay.
perhaps you say you were the black sheep, yeah, and we have this example that a young boy, 20 years old, is going and he wants to kill himself with a
Yeah,
cord.
hang himself.
Yeah, and he's going into a Scheune, a store.
A barn.
Yeah, and there is a wooden balcony. Yeah. And he is making the cord about it, and the father is coming in and see him what he's doing, and say, "Stop, son! Don't do it. My father died at the same place 30 years ago. We've never talked about it, and I couldn't save him, but now I can save you because it's not your destiny to die at the same place, at the same way like your grandfather." And they take each other and they are crying, and now this destiny, which was never be spoken about, yeah, is open, and the secret is open, and this feeling of on the young boy, I have to do this now, fully was away, and he is alive, and has a
It's a
wonderful.
real story.
It's a real story.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And this we have it really often. Yeah, when one destiny is not talked about and it's hidden, that in one generation or 2 generations later, there is someone who take up the same destiny and lives it and brings it back into the system. And then people say, "Oh, it's the same like the grandfather." Yeah. And then we have the task as a coach and counselor to bring all this secrets, into the brain and open this the box where the secrets are inside. Because secrets can make you ill.
Yeah, I had a coaching client many, many, many years ago, and so he had a twin sister, and so when they were 18 or so, they first wanted to go together like a group of young people over the weekend, but then they decided no, they split. They let the girls go and let the boys go, and so she went with two other girlfriends, and they drowned in a river or something. So all his life, he felt so guilty and he never addressed it.
Yeah.
And then he got cancer, actually. That was before I became a cancer coach. I was doing other coaching. But he developed that. And then when we worked together, actually we had something on relationships, but this came up then. And so he realized that this was really related. Yeah. And interestingly, he had a cancer in the mouth.
Wow. It's never been spoken about.
Yeah. But now this was now many years ago, and he is still alive. So, that has helped actually, obviously, to address things and
Yeah, and that's why we make this systemic thinking and to bring it also in our training. Please be aware of these systemic patterns and ask about the family systems and that this spider net we're sitting inside.
Yes.
I hope we made it a little bit clearer now.
Yeah, I think so. Also with the questions that you gave, I think everybody has a good help now to get started and incorporate these questions in their work with clients, and always have the extra chair. And even if you work online, you can still have visible another chair, and they physically move. Yeah. Not just imagining.
Change the camera position a little bit, and then you see also the second chair with the camera, and so no problem. Yeah. And we have also a tool. It's called systemic questions. And with these questions, you can ask a lot about this surrounding and about the people in the system and who is thinking how about you as a trainer, as the coach, and what are the expectations about my wife, when I go now to a counselor or a coach, and all these expectations, they are in the room. The patient brings it with him, and he carries it in his backpack. And so it's necessary to talk about it. And so perhaps you look again on these systemic questions, and it's now perhaps a little bit more understandable and to work with it.
Yes. Wonderful.
Good. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Elke, for asking and to share also. And thank you, Elke, for your work for our cancer training for the coaches who wants to work with cancer patients.
Yeah. We need them.
That's
the world needs them.
Okay, thank you for your sharing the training. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.